I used to have so much anxiety that I went to the ER twice for heart palpitations that turned out to be nothing. In order to pass my big motorbike tests, I took beta blockers to slow my heart rate down because otherwise I felt like I was going to pass out from anxiety. And that made me think I should probably start doing something about this anxiety. Because up until then, my thought was like, I'm anxious because I have so much to do and I don't really feel in control of anything. Like once I get everything done and can feel more in control, including controlling other people, then I'll feel better. Have you ever felt that way? If you're a veterinarian, you're very likely to often be feeling something like that. So I started with meditation, and that made me learn to control my breathing enough that actually the heart palpitations disappeared, but I still felt like I was always behind and not in control of anything. My brain was constantly coming up with more and more things I should do. I didn't actually know we have around 60,000 thoughts a day, and one is more random than the other. So I thought I had to do all these things to get my life in order. Like thoughts around everything I do, anything I did, anything I will ever do wrong. So as to get away from all these thoughts that made me more and more anxious, I overworked constantly. And if I wasn't working, I couldn't sit still. I would literally have to be watching a film, reading a book, or having a drink or two in order to be able to just have a normal conversation without my brain shouting at me for not being actively doing something. I just had to be efficient all the time. So often I would be eating something at the same time as driving or watching a movie, so just to keep my mind completely occupied. So it wasn't until I found coaching that I realized I actually have a choice around my thoughts, that they weren't the holy grail of truth, and I could decide which to keep and which not. But it took a lot of resistance to see this. Like the coach would challenge my belief and I would get defensive because of course I have to do all these things I have to do, don't I? And unraveling my thoughts and beliefs and creating awareness of which ones were causing my anxiety was just such an eye-opener. I still feel anxious a lot of the time, but now I just let it sit on my shoulder, just bring it along. I just write down my thoughts to see what's causing it. So if you feel anxiety on a regular basis, tell me what you're doing to avoid feeling it and to get away from the incessant thoughts. Are you overworking when you really don't need to? You might be justifying it, but be honest with yourself. How is this affecting your family life? Are you gaining weight or you can't get it off because eating makes you feel better? Are you drinking every night to just calm down and de-stress? And how does that make you feel the next morning? The problem with trying to avoid the anxiety is that we often create bigger problems with ourselves because of ways we try to buffer our way out of it. If you want to learn how to manage your mind and be able to enjoy your life, reach out for a free consult. Let's have a conversation about how you're dealing with life right now and what you would like it to look like, because most likely you're not even aware of how much better it can be.